Everybody, welcome back to the channel on this beautiful, well, very wet and rainy day. Quite cold outside here in Switzerland. Winter is coming. Anyway, be right back with you with the video. Okay, today we're going to continue on with a little bit of a conversation I've been having for the last couple of videos, and that is talking about equipment and the outdoors. And I did a video on how to teach skills. Okay, this falls within that parameter there. And I made another video which I haven't posted yet, which you guys will see soon probably. I may remake it because it crosses over a little bit with what I've been working on here. And I want to talk to you about education in the outdoors. Okay, I see a lot of people spending a lot of money on a lot of gear. And that's great for the outdoor market, for the gear market. You know, I know that a lot of those companies are very, very happy with all the money that's going their way, and it serves a purpose, okay? But don't forget there's another market out there when it comes to gear, and that is the surplus or the used market. And I would suggest, especially for those of you who are starting out, to look in those directions first, okay? Not everything can be used, but a lot of things, yeah, why not? You should use it. I mean, when it comes to backpacks and cooking systems, just kind of like that. And actually, in the beginning, do you really need all that? I mean, you can go with a nice backpack. I would say, it depends on what you're going to do. If you're going to go for a day pack, get yourself 30, 35 liters. The reason why I don't suggest something smaller is because you can expand on that. You can do 24 hours. And why spend the money on a whole bunch of packs when a couple will do, actually? And for overnights for several days, 50, 60 liter pack is actually good enough. When you start getting into 80, 100, 120 liters, we're talking about really heavy packs, multi-day uses where you're not going to have any kind of logistical situation. And you're going to be going on long trips for vast distances, I have a friend of mine, I have several friends actually who've done the Appalachian Trail, some have done the Pacific Coast Trail, just kind of like that on these long hikes, and they carry days of food with them, and sometimes in certain sections they have to carry more water, which all this adds up to more weight. Your basic 10 essentials is something I'd suggest you never ever deviate from. A lot of people say, well, I'm good with this right here and this and that. In the end, you gotta test out yourself. And remember, above all of this, the education that you have in the outdoors is what's going to matter the most. I mean, I see people going out and buying these expensive trauma kits, and they don't know how to do any kind of basic first aid. So get some courses behind you, learn some stuff. Remember, the more you have up top, the less you have to carry it on the back, And so just remember this and don't forget this, and you will see this. I mean, if you don't need a tent, don't buy a tent when a poncho or a tarp will do, actually. And you can buy a Helicontex tarp for under 30 bucks. So why not buy yourself one of those instead of going out and buying $100, $200, $300, $600 tent that's going to weigh a lot, and the only thing it's really going to do, it's going to close you in. It's going to take you away from why you're in the outdoors in the first place. Sometimes, and this goes back to my youth and even my military days, didn't even put up a poncho or any kind of tarp. I just slept under a tree or something like that, or slept in the open. Now, sometimes you can get away with that. Not all the times you can. Depends on the weather. Terrain dictates, and so does the weather. Okay, so these things determine what you can get away with in the outdoors. You can always build yourself a debris shelter or something like that too. But this is all about knowledge. Even setting up a tarp is a bit of knowledge. So you need to research yourself, and there are lots of ways of going about that. Either take courses from somebody, get on YouTube, get out there and just practice yourself. And with practice, there's going to be small little failures, but a failure is only a failure if you keep doing it, if you keep making that mistake. So learn from these mistakes, and that's how you're going to learn also. And build a community around you. Find people who are like-minded or who want to learn these things, and get out with them, and start building your community of friends. You can share these experiences together, Yeah, sure, there's times when you really want to get out and just do your own thing and not have to deal with other people. But quite often, I mean, when I go to the outdoors, I want to spend time with friends that I haven't seen in a while, or that are good buddies like this, whatever, And quite often when I go out with students, I'm not only just teaching them but I'm also trying to build a community with them. Okay, a community of people that that sort of respect the nature, and you want to teach that respect also, and from where you go, how you get there, what you do while you're there, and how you leave it when you leave. When you get out of there. So that's another thing. Okay. When it comes to getting yourself your very in the very beginning your equipment, like I said, you can go to surplus stores, you can go online, it's kind of like that, but you can also go to secondhand shops quite often. And I've been working at a secondhand shop for 6 months, and I get a lot of stuff from that place. I find stuff there all the time. People give away old gear, from military gear to good camping gear, good backpacks, kind of stuff, and you'd be surprised what you can get. And you get it pretty inexpensively. So, look at that market. I mean, you're probably not going to get flashlights, but you can sometimes get hiking boots. That very little use or no use whatsoever. And you definitely get clothing. You can find stuff that might fit you. I've got a really nice Columbia shirt I wear quite often in the outdoors, an olive patched color. And I've got pictures of me wearing it actually on vacations. I've had it for many years, probably five years I've had it, and it works great, especially for the outdoor stuff. And it's a somber, it's a sort of it's a natural color like green or something like that, or brown. And these things you can wear outdoors and sort of get away with it. But there's nothing wrong with getting an old, go to some of these places, you get a nice Filson jacket, for almost nothing, or some wool sweaters or wool jackets that you can get out there in. Even if you pick yourself up an old Boy Scout shirt, you can wear that, and it gives you a couple of pockets. It's quite resistant, and you can get those in course in tan or in green or whatever too. So and then like I said, you can go to surplus stores and get yourself some old BDUs, or ACUs, whatever we call them nowadays, and different stuff. And if you don't like the color, you can dye it. You can go about all this kind of stuff. So definitely look into these markets, and just be aware that some of these things, like if you order from Patagonia, because and nothing really knock Patagonia or any of the other big brands, but their job is to sell the latest gear and to convince you to get into it every year. They talk about environmentalism, they talk about sustainability, but they keep making new and newer gear, and they're constantly updating their stuff, which is what the market is supposed to do when it comes to design, materials, and functionality, this kind of stuff. They want to find the best gear or help you to find the best gear. Well, a lot of this stuff is made for a specific market, and we're talking about alpism or mountaineering and this kind of stuff. And I'm not doing that anymore. I used to do that, and I'm just not doing it anymore. And quite often you can adapt what you already have to that functionality. Okay, I remember the first time one of the first big trips I did here in Switzerland. I did a trip where we went to the top of the Mont Blanc, and then we skied it's in the wintertime, we skied the glaciers back down. I don't have the picture here. I think it's on the wall inside in my hallway. But I had all this Gucci gear I had to get, just to do that. We're talking about one night, I used it for some years for skiing, stuff like that. But in the end, I ended up selling it off to someone else because I really found that it's just not what I needed, for what I like to do and what I did mostly. But we skied down, we went to the glaciers, just kind of like that, and we rappelled down into them, and ice climbed out of them, out of the crevice in the glaciers. We spent the night in a chalet at the midpoint, coming down. Had a great time. There was the guide on this course, I think his name was Ulrich, and I can't remember his last name, or I believe that was his name. I don't think that was it. I think it's a much more French name. I can't remember what it was now, but no, a German name. But he had done several times. He climbed in Himalayas and did several times. He climbed and successfully climbed completely Mount Everest. Excuse me. And but what was really interesting is that he did not wear brand new gear at all. I mean, his gear was quite old, and you could even see it from the 80s. And this was in the early 2000s, I would say, or the end of 1990s. And his gear was from the 80s, and you can tell by the colors. It was sort of purple, and it's kind of greens, it's kind of like that. And his backpack was this little 35-liter, very simple backpack, and it looked like it had been made for him. Actually, someone had built it for him. It was a handmade pack. It wasn't something that he'd bought, but it was quite beat up and used. But you know what? That sucker was packed, and it weighed so much, that pack did, because he he was constantly presenting stuff from that pack, and I was like, where is there like is there like a black hole in that pack he keeps sticking his arm into and pulling gear out, because he could pull out ropes. He pulled out even boiled eggs one day. I mean, this guy, he was pulling out so much gear from this pack. All his stuff was packed inside of it. He had nothing dang on the outside of it, which was something that I appreciated, and I got a lot from that also, because I hate gear dangling around on the outside of a pack. But anyway, I had a great weekend with him, and got to see an expert, a master in his art, because if you've climbed Mount Everest and survived, and you've been doing what you've done for many years and survived, then I think his name was Yannick. Yannick was his his first name, excuse me, his first name was Yannick. I can't remember his last name, saved my life. I don't have any pictures of him, sadly, but you know what? We had such a blast. But anyway, it was a great experience. When I first got into Switzerland, I got together with a group of people who were like-minded. We did everything from skiing, parachuting, scuba diving. We're all former military guys. There were some civilians that popped in there also in this group, Team Azimuth. And my buddy Pascal Delobel, he was leading up this group and organizing trips, just kind of like that. And we had just a blast. Even people who had canine experience, dog experience, lots of camping and outdoor stuff, canyoning, caving. We did it all. I mean, we were really active in his first years and years and years. And then we sort of like the kids came along, and life sort of changed. And now we're in our 50s and 60s now. And I try to stay active, but it's not always easy when you get older and you have other life things going on. But anyway, getting back to education, educate yourself, join a group or get a part of some people who know. And then as you learn things, okay, give back. Make sure you give back. Give back in ways of teaching courses, helping teach courses, helping to work with people. Even if it's for free, I'm not saying, I tried teaching courses for free here in Switzerland. People don't have a tendency to want to attend a free course. But the moment you attach money to it, they tend to perk up a bit, and they take you a little more serious. So it's sort of the way it works here. But and it is your time. And if you have the experience and you've mastered something, then you should be able to charge for that experience, okay? Unless you work with scouting and this kind of stuff, and I say, hey, go a much less expensive way. I'm looking at a patch here over my shoulder. It's just right there, okay? You can just see it. We did with my son's Boy Scout troop, actually his crew 130, when he made Eagle Scout. We all got together one weekend. It was actually the weekend my son earned his Eagle Scout, and we presented it to him. And went to Chamonix, and this company right here was led by an American, one of the guys, and they do guide services all over the Himalayas, all over the Alps, all over the world actually, but they also do a lot of teaching, and for very, very reduced price to save our boys a lot of money, they taught. We spent a whole weekend there, 2 days of learning avalanche rescue and how to determine if there's a potential for avalanches, kind of like that, and search and recon and all this kind of stuff. It was a really interesting weekend. Learned a whole lot. We all got certified on this, and got these little patches right here, and I have mine back there behind us for that company. And I told him I'd give him a call out, and the company is called Matterhorn Guide Source Treks and Expeditions in Europe and Asia. And Matterhorn, Nepal Guide Source. So look them up online. Really good guys. I mean, really, really good guys, and check them out. But that's one of many. But anyway, once you've gotten these skills, give back. Give back to the community, give back to people, get people interested, get people involved. And then in the long run, it'll be a much better experience in the forest for everybody. Now, imagine, I remember back in the 80s when I was in school, we did hunter safety, okay? And we did driver's education, hunter safety. And back then, we could get a driver's license at 15 years old, which I did. But hunter safety courses, we took the course so you can get a license, I think, before you were 16 to hunt. And we didn't have any hunting accidents where I'm from because all the kids who were interested in hunting took these classes, and they learned hunter safety. And it was quite interesting. I remember Mr. Walker, I believe was his name, Merrill Walker, I believe his name was. I'm not really sure. his first name anymore, but he taught the courses for us when I was at Dry Prong Junior High School back in the early to mid '80s. I think the early '80s. Anyway, it was a great time, and we did everything from hunter safety to bow hunting, gun safety. We shot guns, we shot bows, we did fishing, we did everything in the outdoors. I mean, even some survival stuff, and picking muscadines and not making muscadine wine. Believe me, we weren't doing that. We were more Protestant area, so there was no alcohol involved. But, he gave back through that way. He taught that course. And then later on, of course, we taught that back to our own kids, our own sons. Nowadays, I don't know if those courses still exist. I believe they still do. Where I'm from, I don't know about other places, but get involved in these kind of things. Give back when it comes to how to live and a lifestyle in the forest and nature. Because it's one thing to go out there and really enjoy. It's another thing to go out there and be on a trail and see dog shit everywhere. People making a whole lot of crazy noise as if it's got to be a party and got to be loud music everywhere they go. Constantly on their telephones while they're out walking in nature. Don't be these people, okay? Be someone who's going to go out there. You're going out there for peace, some relaxing, enjoy the outdoors, and if you come across somebody, be able to enjoy a quick chat with them, or just say hello and nod and keep on pushing to your objective. So it's all part of it. So the more we can educate people about how to live and work and use the outdoors without making a mess, without destroying the what's around us, then the better it'll be. You'll be serving your dues as a true environmentalist, and not someone who's just out there just hugging trees. Yeah, some trees need to protect, but on a lot of trees we need to use because nature's going to use them. Whether a forest fire because it's not really kept up very well. I mean, sure, we want nature's going to do its thing, okay, whether we like it or not. And if we're living close to it, we can either enjoy it or we can suffer from it. So there's a bit of that involved also. But anyway, I regress. Get to it. Give back. Enjoy your time outdoors. When it comes to your equipment, that kind of stuff, there are other ways than just the brand new $500 jacket in some shop. Don't let the hype get to you, And if you're just starting out, and start out with what you got. I've made a video already previously, I believe maybe on my other channel, on just putting together what you can find, to just get yourself a 10 essential day pack to get out there with water, a little bit of food. You got everything you need to survive with, but learn how to survive with what you have on you, okay, and what's around you. That's key, so you can get a much better experience in the outdoors. And if something was to happen, you never know what you're going to find in the outdoors. It may not be you, it may be someone else. So how you can help them, and if you try to help them with what they have in their pack, and if they don't have the right stuff in their pack, then you're going to have to probably use what you have in yours, which is going to be which is endangering yourself in a lot of aspects until you can get help out there. But that's why it's important for people to be better prepared for the outdoors. Preparation is the key, and preparation is not just with equipment, but it's also with knowledge. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. I enjoy having these really nice discussions with you guys. And one last thing I want to leave before I finish up this ending is be humble, okay? I don't know it all. And so if you're out there, I'm constantly learning more and taking more courses and getting more knowledge and learning from more people. It may be somebody, for a long time, there's a specific person in the outdoor business, especially the bushcraft hunting, survivors. I just did not like it all because of some things that he had said and done. But with time, he's progressed a lot. He's changed. And so have I. So try to find the good and not so much the bad. Quit critiquing people and try to help them, okay? This happened to me a few weeks ago. People were assuming makes an ass out of you and me, assuming and making comments to me. But, it's like someone calling me an asshole or something like that, and it happens. I probably could come across that way, and I understand that. Not that I'm better than you, but because I'm confident in what I say and what I do. But like I said, I don't know it all. And if I can learn something new, I would definitely, go to all ends to learn it, because that can only improve my situation in the long run, and it's something that if I find it works well, I can also give on to somebody else. There's not just one way to make a fire. There's not just one way to set up a tent. There's not just one way to live in the outdoors. There are several ways. And like I said, terrain dictates, but also your knowledge dictates. So be aware of that. So be humble and be flexible. Be Gumby. But anyway, if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Please share and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you have any outdoor needs, give me a shout down below. And if you are looking for some inexpensive surplus or used gear, check out my website, helvetiabushcraft.ch. I'll leave the link down below also. And you can check out my other YouTube channel, which is my work channel, which is not nearly as active as my private channel. That's why Harry is, but we all go together. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again and making some more videos. So if you have anything for me, just let me know. I hope you all have a pleasant weekend. Like I said, here I'm trying to recover. I've had a very long week. This last month's been very stressful for myself. Lots of work, lots of things going on. I'm starting a new job next in a week. After the 1st, I start a new job. And so I'll be transitioning over that and see how my hours and how it works out with my being able to get outdoors, because I do work 6 days a week. So it's not always as easy as I'd like for it to be. So, but I hope you all take care of yourself and enjoy yourself. So have a good weekend. Take care. Goodbye.